Hi, so in this video I'm going to be giving a brief introduction to the public and private sectors of an economy. So in the previous videos we discussed a free market economy and a command economy and the pros and cons of each, and said that in general we tend to see mixed economies because there are some serious negatives to having a pure free market or a pure command economy. So we tend to have a bit of both with a mixed economy where we have both markets and the government, and a combination of the two is going to decide how we allocate our resources. And this mix of the two types of pure economy is what's going to give us our two different sectors: our public sector, which is where our government is allocating resources, and our private sector, which is where the markets are allocating resources. So, as I said, most economies are mixed economies, in fact almost all are. So if we use the UK as an example, we can look at the public sector as being government run sort of businesses. We can think of them as businesses, but they're really just the government that is running certain aspects of the economy in the public sector, and we can think of things like schools, which are free to consume, or we can think of our free to consume schools as being public sector, and then we can think of private schools as being in our private sector. So we can have public schools versus private schools, and these will be in different sectors depending on whether it is allocated by the government and we have free public schools, or by markets and we have private schools. And so a feature of this private sector is going to be that it is run by individuals, and individuals are going to be creating their own businesses. So other aspects of the public sector, we can have things like spending on the military, we can have the National Health Service or healthcare that is provided publicly, and again we can have private sector healthcare as well. We see there are lots of private healthcare firms in the US, we see lots of them, but we do also have publicly provided services as well. So this is what we think of when we have a mixed economy. We have a public sector which can make up anywhere between 10 and say 80% of GDP in a mixed economy, and then a private sector which will make up the rest of GDP. So depending on how large the government is, that's how free market we may say an economy is, or how socialist some people would say an economy is, based on the percentage of GDP that is made up by the public sector. But it is worth noting that these two sectors are prevalent in most economies, so that is the difference between those. Hopefully that made some sense. If it did, please be sure to drop a like on this video. That would be very, very helpful for me. Do subscribe for future videos and check out the Intro to Economics playlist for lots more videos on topics such as this one.